Each of us has gone through moments when we questioned the why behind the difficulties we face. It's natural to ask ourselves, why is this happening to me? What is the purpose behind this pain or disappointment? These moments of uncertainty can feel discouraging, especially when the answers aren't clear. However, what many don't realize is that every challenge we face is part of a larger plan, designed with a unique purpose. And this purpose is often deeper and more meaningful than we can imagine. In this video, we want to explore this powerful idea that everything happens for a reason. We want to help you see beyond the immediate difficulties and recognize that even in the darkest moments, there is a reason behind every event. When we trust in God's plan, we can find peace and security even in the most challenging situations. If you are going through a tough phase, an unexpected change, or even dealing with a loss, know that you are not alone. This journey that may seem confusing and painful could be precisely the path that will lead you to deep growth and renewed faith. In this video, we will reflect on how every experience, no matter how difficult, carries with it an opportunity for learning and spiritual strengthening. So stay with us until the end and discover how this perspective can transform the way you face life's ups and downs. When we face challenges, it's common to feel like we've lost control. Life seems to take an unexpected turn, and everything we've planned falls apart. It's like being on a road full of unknown curves where we can't see what's ahead. In these moments, it may feel like life is testing us, or worse, that we've been abandoned to our own fate. But in reality, these difficulties are part of our personal journey, a path that, although hard, is shaping us for something greater. God guides us through these phases, even when the feeling of loneliness is intense. He allows us to face obstacles, to strengthen our faith, and teach us to trust in Him, not just when things are going well, but especially in moments of uncertainty. It is in these times that our faith is tested, and also where it finds space to grow. Just like a plant needs storms to take root and strengthen its branches, we too go through turbulent periods so that our trust in God may deepen. When we look back, we often realize that these challenges had a purpose. They prepared us for future situations, made us more resilient, or taught us something essential about who we are and our relationship with the divine. These experiences are not punishments. They are opportunities for growth. It's important to remember that although our personal plans often don't unfold as expected, God's plan is perfect and works in our favor, even if we can't understand it right away. Throughout this video, our intention is to help you find peace amidst these challenges and strengthen your faith. Because by trusting in the process and God's greater purpose, the difficulties start to make sense, and the pain transforms into learning. Even in the darkest phases, you will be on the right path, being guided toward your greater purpose. In moments of uncertainty, it may seem like God is distant, that our prayers go unanswered, and that we are alone in our struggles. But in reality, it is in these moments of silence and uncertainty that He works most deeply. The absence of immediate answers doesn't mean that He isn't acting. On the contrary, God is preparing something greater, something we may not understand in the present moment. Imagine a sculptor in front of a rough stone. To someone watching, every strike of the hammer may seem random or meaningless. However, to the sculptor, each blow is precise and necessary to shape the final work. In the same way, God is shaping our lives. Each difficult situation, every unexpected challenge is like a hammer strike that chisels us, refines us, and brings us closer to who we are truly meant to become. Faith helps us accept that we don't have all the answers, and that we won't always understand the why behind every situation. God invites us to trust His plan, to rest in His presence, even when the path ahead isn't clear. When we place our trust in Him, we are surrendering to the care of someone who sees far beyond what we can see. And this surrender This yielding to divine will is an act of strength and courage, not weakness. The moments of uncertainty then become moments of spiritual revelation. They teach us to trust without seeing and to walk without knowing exactly where we're going, with the assurance that God is guiding every step. The more we accept this reality, the stronger we become. Uncertainty stops being a burden and becomes a phase of transformation. In this chapter of the video, we want you to understand that even when everything seems to be falling apart, God is by your side, guiding and sustaining you with a greater purpose. How many times after a difficult moment do we look back and realize that event, no matter how painful it was, brought us something essential? This is the deep meaning of everything happens for a reason. It doesn't mean that every event will always be positive or that there won't be pain. In fact, it implies that even in the most challenging situations, there is a greater purpose that serves our growth and transformation. God allows certain situations to occur to teach us, strengthen us, and draw us closer to Him. Imagine a person who never faces difficulties. They might never understand the true importance of faith or resilience. Without these challenges, our character remains immature, and our trust in God may become shallow. It is in the difficult moments that we discover our true strength, and our faith is forged like a solid rock. The idea that everything happens for a reason invites us to look beyond appearances. Instead of asking ourselves, "Why did this happen to me?" we can ask, "What does God want to teach me through this?" Or, "How can this experience make me a better person?" This kind of reflection helps us accept events with more serenity, knowing that, in the end, everything fits into a divine plan. It's also interesting to notice how often the most complicated situations in life lead us to achievements and opportunities we never imagined. Many people, for example, report that major changes in their career or personal life came right after a loss or challenge. God uses these experiences to open new doors, to show new paths, and to guide us toward our true purpose. What seemed like an obstacle reveals itself as a crucial step in the journey of self-discovery and connection with Him. We want to show that every piece, no matter how complicated it may seem, has its place in the great work that God is creating in our lives. When we trust in this process and accept that everything has a reason, we are able to face difficult moments with more calm and confidence, knowing that they are guiding us towards something greater. By understanding this, you will find not only peace, but also strength to move forward, certain that God never fails in His plans and that even if the path seems uncertain, a perfect purpose is being designed for you. Trusting in God's plan amid suffering is one of the greatest tests of faith we can face. When things are going well, it's easy to say we trust in Him. But when pain, loss, or disappointment overtake our lives, that trust is put to the test. It's natural to question, "Why is this happening?" or "Has God forgotten me?" However, it's precisely in these moments that we are called to surrender our doubts and anguish to Him and trust that He knows what He is doing. Suffering has the power to transform us. It forces us to confront our limitations, to relinquish our need for control, and to surrender to God's care and purpose. When we go through difficult situations, we are often invited to grow in patience, humility, and empathy, qualities that, though they may emerge through pain, are essential for our spiritual and emotional development. Often the purpose of suffering only becomes clear over time. When we look back, we realize that although the pain was intense, it brought us something valuable, whether a lesson, a shift in perspective, or even a deeper understanding of God's presence in our lives. In those moments, faith helps us endure suffering and find strength where we didn't know it existed. Trusting in God's plan is like crossing a bridge in the fog. We can't see the other side, but we know the bridge is there. Moreover, trust in God gives us a sense of peace that goes beyond human understanding. When we know that everything is part of a greater plan, our anxiety lessens and we can face suffering with greater calm. The pain doesn't disappear, but it becomes more bearable when we remember that God is beside us, using even our hardest moments to shape and strengthen us. Nothing inspires us more to trust in God's plan than the real-life stories of people who have faced profound challenges and yet found hope and purpose. These testimonies are powerful reminders of how God acts subtly but transformatively, even in the darkest moments. We can think, for instance, of people who have endured significant losses, such as the passing of a loved one or the loss of a job, and found the strength to move forward as they realized these events opened doors to new opportunities. These painful experiences led to discoveries that would not have happened otherwise, like a career that aligns with their life purpose or a new support network formed during the healing process. There are also those who have gone through health crises and through faith found peace to cope with fear and uncertainty. Many of these stories show that by placing their worries in God's hands, these individuals received the strength needed to endure suffering and even help others going through similar situations. These stories reveal that when we trust in God, He can turn our pain into purpose, use us to bring light and comfort to others, and help us grow in ways we never imagined. Sharing these narratives in the video will help the audience see that they are not alone in their struggles, and that just as others found meaning in suffering, they too can discover a greater purpose in their own journeys. When we trust that God has a perfect plan for our lives, our way of viewing the world and handling challenges transforms. This shift in perspective brings numerous benefits, not only spiritual, but also emotional and practical. Having faith in God's plan helps us face every situation, whether good or difficult, with greater calm and acceptance, reducing the anxiety that often prevents us from fully enjoying life. One of the greatest benefits of trusting in the divine plan is inner peace, understanding that everything happens for a reason and that God is in control allows us to let go of fear and doubt, feelings that often paralyze us. This kind of trust enables us to navigate uncertain moments with serenity, knowing that even if we don't understand everything now, there is a greater purpose guiding our steps. Another benefit is increased resilience. When we believe that even difficulties play a role in our growth, we become stronger in the face of adversity. Faith helps us see beyond immediate obstacles, recognizing that they are part of a greater journey, one that shapes our character and brings us closer to the purpose God has set for us. Additionally, this trust inspires a sense of gratitude and contentment. Instead of focusing on what is missing or on problems, we learn to appreciate the lessons and blessings that each phase of life offers us. This sense of gratitude helps us live more fully, with hearts open to what God has in store for us. Cultivating a solid faith in God's plan is an ongoing journey, and the more we invest in this practice, the stronger our trust becomes. In this chapter, we will explore practical ways to strengthen this faith so that even in moments of uncertainty, we can feel supported and guided by something greater. Prayer is one of the most powerful tools to deepen our faith. By setting aside moments to speak with God, sharing our fears, doubts, and hopes, we create a deeper, more sincere connection with Him. Prayer allows us to open our hearts, hear His voice, and feel His presence in our lives. It is through prayer that we receive peace and guidance to face challenges. The practice of reading and meditating on sacred texts also strengthens our faith. The scriptures are filled with examples of men and women who went through uncertain times but trusted in God and were rewarded. These stories remind us that we are not alone in our struggles and that our journey, like theirs, is being carefully guided. Another important step is to seek a community of faith. Sharing experiences, praying and worshiping together with other believers creates an environment of mutual support and growth. Being surrounded by people who share the same faith encourages us to persevere and provides a support network for our toughest moments. Sharing experiences with those who have gone through similar situations helps us view our own challenges with new perspective. Finally, the practice of gratitude is essential. By reflecting on the blessings we receive daily, even the simplest ones, we begin to see God's hand in every detail of our lives. This helps us realize that regardless of the circumstances, He is always caring for us. With these habits, we will strengthen our trust and live with more peace and security in the divine plan. Cultivating this faith doesn't mean we won't face difficulties, but rather that we will face challenges with greater serenity, knowing that, in the end, everything is under God's perfect control. Even with a solid faith, it is normal for doubts and uncertainties to arise at times about God's plan for our lives. After all, we are human, and life's unpredictability can make us question the meaning of certain experiences. However, it is precisely in these moments that we have the opportunity to strengthen our faith and remind ourselves that God is always present, even when we don't understand everything immediately. One way to deal with these doubts is to acknowledge them without fear. Questioning and seeking understanding is part of the process of spiritual growth. By accepting that we won't always have ready answers, we make room to trust in God's process and timing, which work in ways beyond our understanding. This teaches us to be patient and reminds us that God's timing is perfect, even when our hearts long for immediate answers. It is also essential to learn not to focus on the whys and instead to concentrate on the for whats, rather than asking, "Why am I going through this?" Try reframing the question to, "For what purpose is this happening? What can I learn or develop through this experience?" This shift in perspective helps us see challenges as opportunities for growth and encourages us to seek the lessons hidden in each situation. Furthermore, seeking guidance from trusted individuals can help us overcome uncertainties. Talking with spiritual mentors, close friends, or family members who share the same faith helps us process our feelings and receive advice that can bring comfort and wisdom. These exchanges show us that doubts do not diminish our faith. On the contrary, they can help deepen it when approached with honesty and humility. When we look back, we often realize that experiences that once seemed meaningless now have a clear purpose. Over time, we gain a perspective that reveals how each moment, each challenge, and each victory contributed to shaping who we are today. This practice of reflection helps us see how God, in His wisdom, used every phase to teach us valuable lessons and prepare us for what is yet to come. However, to recognize these lessons, we need to be willing to reflect with humility and gratitude. Ask yourself, what have I learned from the challenges I've faced? How did these experiences help me grow and make me stronger? This practice not only illuminates the value of each phase, but also strengthens us for the next chapters of our journey, with the assurance that, even in difficult times, God is always present. Additionally, recognizing the patterns and lessons of the past helps us build confidence in the present and future. Remembering how we overcame complex moments gives us the confidence we need to face new uncertainties. It's like building a faith wall, where each experience serves as a reminder of God's faithfulness in our lives. Each step is a piece of the puzzle of God's divine purpose for us. When we view life this way, we realize that nothing was in vain. Every situation, no matter how challenging, contributed to our growth. This awareness allows us to live with more ease, knowing that trials are part of a larger plan and that God never abandons us. One of the greatest challenges on the spiritual journey is learning to trust in God's timing. Often, we desire quick answers and immediate solutions, but the truth is that the divine plan follows its own rhythm, which doesn't always align with our sense of urgency. In this chapter, we will explore how patience and trust in God's timing can provide us with profound peace and renewed security. It is natural to feel anxious when we cannot see what lies ahead. However, understanding that God knows the best time for everything helps us remain serene, even when the wait feels long. He is working behind the scenes, organizing circumstances and preparing the ground for everything to unfold at the right time. Therefore, when something doesn't happen immediately, it doesn't mean that God has forgotten us, but rather that He is preparing something special that will bring lasting benefits. An exercise that can help is to remember occasions when something we deeply desired didn't happen at the moment we wanted, but later we understood that the delay was essential for something even better to come. Trusting in God's timing is a practice that strengthens our faith, as it teaches us to be patient and to realize that He always acts with wisdom and love. Furthermore, by surrendering our plans and expectations to God, we find freedom. We no longer need to carry the weight of controlling everything. God, in His perfection, knows the exact moment when everything should happen, and trusting in Him frees us from the anxiety and stress of expectation. At the end of this journey of reflection, it is important to reaffirm the central message. Everything truly happens for a reason, and God has a perfect plan for each one of us. Even in the most challenging situations, we can find comfort and purpose, knowing that we are being guided by a higher power who knows us deeply and knows what is best for our lives. When we understand this, we gain the ability to look toward the future with confidence and serenity. This video has been an invitation for each of us to reflect on our own lives with a new perspective, one that sees difficulties as opportunities for growth and uncertainties as chances to strengthen our faith. Life is full of surprises, and we won't always understand everything in the moment, but by trusting in God, we find the peace and security we need to move forward, even in the most challenging times. So remember, no matter what you are facing right now, there is a purpose and a reason behind every event. God is preparing something greater, something that often will only reveal itself with time. Embrace each step of the journey with courage and hope, knowing that you are not alone on this path. With faith, patience, and trust, we can transform every experience into a source of wisdom and growth. May this message inspire you to walk with serenity and determination, believing that God's plan is perfect and that everything truly happens for a reason.